Hello fellow modelers, Bruce here. I thought we would continue our discussion on Camelback locomotives a little bit today. In a previous video I had mentioned that although most of the anthracite roads had phased out their camelbacks either before or shortly after World War II, the Jersey Central Railroad kept at least one into operation right up through the end of steam on the railroad. And what you're looking at here is a postcard I have of that locomotive, number 774. You can see that she's a 460 Camelback standing in front of the Jersey Central shops in March of 1956, just 8 days before she was scrapped. Old number 774 has a few notables to its name. First of all, it was built by Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1913, specifically for passenger service on the Jersey Central. So she had a good 43-year run. And for any steam locomotive, that's a decent run. She's notable because she was the last Camelback to run on any mainline service anywhere in the United States. And she was the last steam engine to run on the Jersey Central in revenue service. There was a gentleman who tried to convince the Jersey Central to donate her to a preservation society or a museum. But the Jersey Central had fairly recently donated a couple locomotives to preservation and felt they had done their bit. And so he says, well, how much to buy it? And, I guess the scrap value at the time was about $5,000, so they named $5,000. And he couldn't come up with it, and so she was scrapped. And you might think, my goodness, $5,000. Certainly you could pay $5,000. Well, that $5,000 back in 1956 is now $57,000 in today's dollars, so you can understand why perhaps the gentleman could not raise the money. But anyway, there she is, the last Camelback to run on any main line in revenue service in the United States. She certainly is a beauty. All right, let me get that picture out of there, and we'll consider or continue my discussion of my own collection of Camelback locomotives. If you are interested in Camelbacks, certainly there are any number of them in brass, and I have three. I showed you one, a little 040. I have another 040 brass and a much larger brass that I'll dig out at some point and show you. But if you want ready to run, your options were and are the IHC Mother Hubbards that I've already covered in the video, and then two other manufacturers had a line of Camelbacks, and one was the Tyco Mantua brand of ready-to-run locomotives, and the other was the Model Die Casting / Roundhouse company. We'll talk about MDC Roundhouse at a later time, but today I want to focus on my collection of Mantua Camelbacks. I have out here 4 boxes. 3 of them are ready to run and one's a kit, all by Mantua. And the one on top here is the smallest of those. That's their little 040 yard goat that still runs a lot of model rails around the country and beyond this country. And at some point you'll see this one running the rails as well. So that's the smallest of my 3. The middle-sized one is an 060 switcher. And this one we'll see run in a little while. I'll talk more about it at the after I introduce the other guys here. The largest of my ready-to-runs is this 280 Little beauty here, lettered for the Reading, and again, run on the railroad at a later date. And my one kit from Mantua of a Camelback is this 462 Camelback kit that hopefully I will put together at some point in time. So those are my Mantua offerings, and now let's go back to this 060 switcher. Fairly recently acquired. I was looking on eBay and came across this listing, and I think ultimately it was $69 plus shipping, I think. Certainly reasonable by today's standards. And what interested me was, although the seller had not really promoted it this way, this unit has been remotored with a Sagami motor and flywheel. So gone is the open frame motor with brushes. And it is no longer lettered for its original road. It is now Pickering Lumber Company. So yeah, since I'm going to have a number of lumber mills on my upper deck, this one would fit right in. And so I purchased it, and you're going to see that she is a sweet runner. So when we come back, you'll see her on the rails, and we'll run it back and forth a bit. Talk to you then. All right, let's just stop it there a minute and look at it a little more closely. So you saw that it had a front headlight that works. Let's look at it from the side, which is the more interesting perspective on this little guy. So there it is, lettered for Pickering Lumber, number 7, and same on its tender. And it's in very nice shape. And we'll just start it up again and bring it down the road a little further, get it across the bridge and see what's what. Nice and quiet, nice and smooth running. There she is. It was funny because I got this off of eBay a while back, and he in his description never let on that it had been remotored. If it wasn't for the fact that he included the picture of this end of the box, I wouldn't have known that. But anyway, yeah, he said it ran well both forward and backwards, which in my point of view is a real plus for a locomotive. And so I sent in a offer, and I'm now the proud owner of this little guy. And it is a welcome addition to my roster of Camelbacks. We'll take a look at the other Mantua Camelbacks at some point down the road. But let's just let this guy chug on a minute and finish up this video. And there you have her. A real dandy, and for folks who enjoy Camelbacks, those are two Varney cars of a similar time period. Alrighty, that's it for this video. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Alright, talk to you.